Zanisi.
Greetings and welcome everybody. Is everybody in the room now? Vanto.
Yes, greetings. I'm in the room. Greetings everybody. Greetings Empress Ma. Are we all in the room now? Are we ready?
Yes, we are ready, leader.
Yes, we would like to welcome everyone who is with us here. We want to welcome all the royalties, the highnesses. We welcome the elders. We also welcome our pastors, our apostles, and all the leaders that we have, our ambassadors. We welcome you in our very exciting meeting here. We have a meeting today, which is a very unique meeting of its own kind. A meeting of the Africans, all of them meeting in one place. And it is a very unique meeting because we are building the nation. We are building Africa. And as we are building Africa, okay. As we are building Africa, we have the tools of building our nation. And the most important tool that we are bringing to you today is the Lumi. This is the tool that we are bringing to you today, which we are building our nation with. We have been blessed because today we have a time when Mugabe was saying, we are now looking to the east, no longer to the west. But to us today, when he was referring to China, but to us today, we've got our brothers in the diaspora who are all over the world. And we are saying we are looking globally because this is a time of all of us coming together. And we are going to be having a wonderful time today as we are going to have our guest speakers that are going to speak to us about how are we building this nation of the diaspora together with the people in Africa. Because what we have together in this place, we need to make sure that all of us are building our economy. We're coming together to build our economy together with the diaspora. And we are going to be using the Lumi, and we will have our speakers that are going to guide us and show us how we are going to use the Lumi in building this nation. And we would like to say from the onset that we are not sent by a company, we are not sent by a particular organization, but we are sent by the government of the state of Africa Diaspora, together with the African Kingdoms Federation, we are sent by them, because if you are dispersing the pound, there should be the Queen sending you, and you need to have the Prime Minister of England sending you. If you are dispersing the dollar, you need to have President Biden sending you. And with us, we are honored to say that we are sent by the Empress, our Queen Mother. We are sent to you by also our Prime Minister, who are sending us with the Lumi, because that is what we have. We have the Lumi. It's a very unique time for all of us. We never had time as Africans to start a new currency. And we are thinking of all these other cryptocurrencies, and we are asking all the questions. But here, if we're talking about starting a currency is the blood of the nation. We are talking about building a nation. This currency, it is talking about building the nation, the entire Africa. And we are going to start very soon, and we are going to introduce our speaker, who is going to talk about activating the womb of our mother Africa and her diaspora. As we activate, we're waking up what is already there. And we have our speaker and our partner, Empress Mariama Daniel, who is in the UK, and she is going to be talking to us right now about how are we going to activate the womb of our mother Africa and her diaspora. Are you there, Empress Ma?
Thank you, Vanto, for that wonderful introduction. Yes, I'm going to start the presentation and give all our audience that have kindly attended this meeting an overview of the Lumi and what it's about, how it came about, why it's here, and a little bit about what it can do for us, but you're going to get more of an in-depth description about what the African Kingdoms Lumi can do for us. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. So everyone just bear with me. I'm going to share the screen so we can start the presentation. And then afterwards, you can ask some questions. We're going to have some question and answers time, where you'll be able to answer or ask any questions, shall I say. So let's start. So here we are with the African Kingdoms Lumi, Africa, UK, Diaspora. And as our brother Vanto said, a bridge has been built between Africa and the diaspora. And here we are. That's how we came together to bring you our presentation, our bi-weekly presentation about the African Kingdoms Lumi and what it can do. So this part of the presentation is here. It's called Activating the Womb of Our Mother Africa and Her Diaspora. And I say womb because the womb of our mother Africa is a breadbasket for the whole world, as I'm sure we are aware. And if you're not aware, then you will get to know. And I'm going to start off here with what is the Lumi. Now, the Lumi is a central bank digital currency. A lot of people think that, you know, when you first tell them about the Lumi, they say, oh, is it digital? Is it crypto? And like, no, the answer is no. It's not a cryptocurrency. It's a classical digital currency. And it was derived via the Central Solar Reserve Bank of Jamaica. It's a non-fiat currency. It's actually backed and underwritten by 100 kilowatt solar energy of solar energy pegged to 4 grains of gold, which weighs roughly 0.2592 grams. So I think it's quite suffice to say that this currency is real money, because if you look at money historically, I'm not going to go into too much detail here because you're going to hear more about it. But if you look into money historically, original money was always backed by gold, resources, or something that you could give in exchange for whatever product or services you wanted. So this currency is probably the premier currency, the only currency right now that I can see that's actually backed and pegged by gold and solar energy. So here we are. Next question being, what is the economic community of the 6th region, ECO 6? because this is where the currency has been rolled out. It started from the sixth region, which is the Diaspora, courtesy of Chief Timothy Samarco McPherson. He is the creator and founder of the Lumi as a currency. As we know, he's been in banking for over 30 years, so he has the credentials. We're going to look at, what is the economic community of the sixth region? People hear about it, but do we even know what it is? Well, the economic community of states, nations, territories, and realms make up the African Diaspora sixth region. And they are places like in the Caribbean. For those of us who are from the Caribbean, big up yourself. We're here. We normally deal with all things Caribbean. Those of us in Africa normally deal with all things African, apart from, let's just get it. I know one thing that we all share is obviously money, currency. No matter where we go in the world, we will spend. If I came to South Africa or Nigeria, I would spend the rand or the naira, or go to Ghana, I'd spend the CD. Same thing, if you came to the Caribbean, you'd spend the Eastern Caribbean dollar, the Jamaican dollar, you'd spend all the different currencies that we have there. Well, there's not that many we have, but most of it is governed by, obviously, the Bank of England if it's a British-speaking currency, or the Spanish banks if it's a Spanish-speaking country. That type of thing. It's European countries that control those currencies. But with us now in the sixth region, we now have the Lumi. Now, these nations and territories and realms came together with the African kingdoms by a treaty established on the 1st of August in 2019, drawn up by Chief Samarco and Queen Empress Sheba Ra. She was the one that brought the African kingdoms together, and the nations, realms, and territories of indigenous nations as well in those territories, forming an economic bloc, similar to that of the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS. It's very similar. So this is how it all came about. And as a result of that unity, we now have the Lumi. Everybody came under the legal, they've all taken up the tender of the Lumi as member states. Some haven't rolled it out officially, but the people, we the people, have taken it upon ourselves to register for the Lumi. So that's the greatest thing of all. We don't have to wait for our governments to take it up. We can take it up individually, as a community, as organizations. We can register for our own Lumi. And the current value of the Lumi right now, we're going to look at something here. It's one Lumi. One Lumi is currently worth $15.96. Now, in relation to our local currencies, for example, do we think the Lumi is worth less or more than our own currencies? Well, let's look at it from this perspective. One Lumi, in terms of South Africa, is equivalent to approximately 250 Rand. In the UK, one Lumi is equivalent to £11.50. All right. Now, if we look at the rate of exchange for one South Africa Rand to the dollar, think about one South Africa Rand to $1, or $1 is 0.07208. That's like cents. That's not even $1. All right. Now, if you look at the Rand for one Lumi, as I just said, it's 250 Rand. So that must tell you something. Those of us in the UK, if we look at the pound in relation to the dollar, for £1, you get 1.41 US dollars. For one Lumi, you get 11 pounds, 11.50 pounds, £11.50 for one Lumi. Yeah. So I'm sure you all can do the maths there. And on top of all of that, as I just said, it equates to one Lumi is equal to 100 kilowatt hours of solar energy that's encapsulated and can be transported. So can you imagine what we can do with all that solar energy that we trade in? We can light up the whole of Africa and the Caribbean, literally. And because why do we need to do that? Because if you look at the history of the Caribbean, the history of Africa, why is it that we, out of the people in the world, why is it that we pay the most for electricity in the world? Why do we pay the most for access to technology in the world? Why? Why do we pay 3 times more when we're in the Caribbean or Africa than what they would pay in Africa or Europe? Well, here comes the Lumi. The Lumi's here now to put paid to all of that now. With the fact that we have 100 kilowatt hours of solar energy backing one Lumi, that should show you in itself that we have the ability to shift all of those old ways of having to get electricity, or people having no electricity for that matter. Let's be very real here. A lot of us have no electricity sometimes, or have to take the electricity. You know what I mean when I say take the electricity. You know, we don't always have access to the means to be able to pay for electricity, but we all need it for one thing or the other. So I'm happy to say that the Lumi's here to deal with that. Now, I don't know if any of you have heard of the state of the African diaspora. The state of the African diaspora is SOAD, what we call SOAD. Some people who have signed up to the Lumi already may have already heard of this state. It's an actual state that's been created, and it's actually a member state of ECO6. And SOAD is quite instrumental in ensuring all the things that I just described about us accessing electricity for more fair, or even maybe even for free, I'd say. Because if we can back it with our money, we should be able to have access to electricity for practically for free, or for very minimal amounts. So here we are, the State of the African Diaspora. It was launched in 2018 as a result of a summit that took place at the African Union. It is a member state of ECO6, and there is a program that's been rolled out by SOAD called the Citizenship Through ID Card Program. Or I think I've coined it that, but that's what it is basically. It's a Citizenship Through ID Card Program. And the reason why we have that, before I go any further, I have to be really clear here. This program is only available for those residing in the diaspora, meaning in the Americas, the Caribbean, UK, Europe, of Caribbean descent or indigenous Caribbean or descent. You know what I mean? People that come, if you've got a British passport or American, whatever, and you reside in those places, you are in the diaspora. So you have access to this ID. Now, a lot of our people who are based in the Caribbean have no ID at all. So it puts them at a disadvantage in the workplace, in society in general. They don't have access to bank accounts, they can't travel, they can't trade. Here we are now with SOAD, putting pay to that. We have access to our own ID cards, which will then allow us to be able to do all those things in everyday life that we, as every human being, should have access to. The right to travel, the right to trade, the right to do banking and finance, the right to even sign up on a website and claim your African Kingdom's Lumi. Because without an ID, you can't even do that. But the great thing about it is that there is a family, family members can actually pay, because it has to be paid for in sterling, in UK sterling, in fiat currency. Because of the suppliers of all the materials that are needed to create the cards, they have to be paid for in fiat. So it is asked that. Sorry. You will have a chance to ask questions soon. Let me just complete this part. Just hold that, make a note of your question and we'll do it. But yeah, so the family members can pay for it. And what will happen if you pay for the ID card for members of your family, if they're in the Caribbean, in Dominica, Jamaica, St. Lucia, wherever they are, or Brazil or Cuba, wherever they are, you can pay for it in sterling. Obviously the exchange rate is dealt with on the Swifting platform, because you have to access that on the Swifting platform. I don't know if anyone's actually gone and looked at it, but there's a part where it says Eco6 ID, and you just click it and you can make an application for the ID for either yourself or any of your family members. And the good thing about it is that you get 50% of the cost put back into your Lumi account, because it's actually £105 right now to apply for the Eco6 ID. So I don't know, that sounds like a good deal to me anyway. And lastly here, just to let you know that the president of the African Union, he actually gave support to the Prime Minister, who is Prime Minister Louis Tin. He's the Prime Minister of the state of the African Diaspora. He was given the endorsement and the support by the President of the African Union to set up the state of the African Diaspora. So there is a state right there for people in the diaspora that want to be members of that state, and it's a sovereign state as well. And I might add as well that the Lumi is also a sovereign currency created by a sovereign maroon by birthright. So yeah, sovereignty, I'd say, is the order of the day. So let's move forward with that and get ourselves prepared. And another question that I'm asked quite often is who's actually backing the Lumi? The main players who back the Lumi right now are the African Kingdoms Federation. And the African Kingdoms Federation is headed by Empress Sheba Ra III. The Crown Vizier, or the Prime Minister, or is it the Prime Minister, yeah, of the African Kingdoms, or the President, sorry, of the African Kingdoms Federation is, again, Chief Timothy Samako, the creator of the Lumi. We also have it's the official currency of SOAD as well, which is another good thing. And it's also been adopted as legal tender by the African Financial Regulatory Authority. And going back to the African kingdoms part, I think it's quite significant that to say as well that the African kingdoms, they've come together. Not only have they come together in solidarity under the Lumi, but they've all agreed to make it their official legal tender through the African Diaspora Central Bank. And that is a very powerful thing, because our people, even if we're not able to access the Lumi from this wider societal perspective, you know, it's not in our banks and directly in our banks. The beautiful thing about it is if you're part of communities that are headed by royal kingdoms, you can access it via digital means. Even if in your community you don't have access to a computer, there are, for example, in Nigeria, I know for a fact they have hubs where you can go and be registered for your African Kingdoms Lumi, even if you have no technology whatsoever. So that's a really, really good thing there. And I want to say that the Lumi is one of the most valuable currencies in the world. I've just shown you that by showing you what the value is of the Lumi. But the most, I mean, there's many ways to define that how valuable it is, because I've defined some already. But from the perspective that I've been really looking at it, I'd say the most important stakeholders of the Lumi and the most value that is created from and by the Lumi, the people that create the most value there is we, the people. The people are the ones who make the Lumi most valuable by backing it, by registering for it, by trading in it, by paying, you know, doing whatever with it. We are the ones that make it the most valuable. So give yourselves a round of applause, my people. Whoever's already got the Lumi, give yourself a round of applause. We're making history with this currency. Give yourself a round of applause. Now, as we're here now at that point of registering for the Lumi, everybody, every single one of us is entitled to a Lumi stimulus, an economic stimulus. It's a global Pan-African economic stimulus that's initiated by the Central Solar Reserve Bank. And everyone in Africa and the diaspora community that are 18 and over are eligible to apply to register for their own digital wallet for the Lumi. Now, Lumi Africa, which is who we represent right here, is Lumi Africa, We have facilities available on our website that anybody can go on our website at any time, and you click on it and you'll be taken straight to a page where you fill out, you upload your details, and you will be registered through our bulk registration system immediately for the Lumi. Once all your identification details are in place, you'll be registered. Not a problem. I mean, I've been getting such great feedback. A lot of people in our groups, our Telegram groups, which I'm sure our team will share with you in the chat, how you can become a member. It's phenomenal. It's growing. It's growing and growing and growing. And the Lumi stimulus is there to create wealth and to develop us as a people. Also, it's a formal framework for investment and trade. That's what can be facilitated as a result of receiving the economic stimulus. Now, when we say wealth creation and development, we're looking at our communities, whether in the Caribbean, in Africa, whichever part of Africa, we're looking at our communities as a microcosm, and then as a macrocosm, as a wider community on the Lumi platform, or whichever platforms we choose to trade in the Lumi. We here at Lumi Africa, we are a big part, we're playing a big part, as well as other organizations that we will discuss and show a little later on. And when you check out our website, you'll see we are all coming together to work to help each other create the wealth and develop our communities exactly the way we know we can. And even if you don't know how to do it, we can teach you how to do it. So that is what the economic stimulus is about. Again, you're going to get more information on the ways that we're able to assist you in creating wealth and develop your communities by registering, number one, with the African Kingdoms Lumi, and also by becoming members of our training and masterclasses, so we can assist you further, and by taking part in various programs that we be endorsing here at Lumi Africa. You're going to hear a little bit more about that later. So yeah, it's very exciting times, and I'm honored, and I feel completely honored to be part of it. And let me just go over now, how much is the stimulus package worth? The big question. You're going to be getting this stimulus package. How much is it worth? Well, the stimulus package was launched, and I don't want to make anyone sad, but it was launched in October 2020 for those of us who actually knew about the Lumi. I myself, I didn't sign up. I found out 2 months later. I never signed up for the Lumi until January 2021. So I was a latecomer as well. But what I'm saying is, we don't want to waste any more time. We need to register for our economic stimulus because it's here and it's waiting for us. It belongs to us. It's a gift to us from the creator of the Lumi. It's a gift to us. All right. Now, the reason why it's gifted to us is because, again, as I said, we have to build our own economy and strengthen our economy via our own currency. This is why the more we spend the Lumi between ourselves and build up that strong currency, the longer it will just keep growing and growing. And we as a people will become more wealthy as a result of it, because everywhere we go, everybody's going to want our Lumi. Yeah, remember that. So once you register, you get a monthly deposit of 6.26 Lumi, which is equivalent to $100 in your wallet on the Swifting platform until 2023. That's 36 months, right? Now, what it is, us people say, oh, well, how much do I have to pay? People say to me, oh, how much do I have to pay? What do I have to put in to get it? Because they think it's like a cryptocurrency that you have to pay a few, whatever, $100 to be part of. No. That's not the case with our currency. It's not the case. It's actually free to register for your wallet and receive your African Kingdoms Lumi. Totally free, 100% free. Yeah, believe it or not, it is. And there's no catch. And it's not too good to be true, because
it's frozen. Okay.
It's not a case of, yeah.
Let's just wait for people coming in again. I also want to take this moment to say thank you to our Minister of Families, We are a government that comes together with the African Kingdoms Federation, which is the SOAD. We have our Minister of Families who has come to be with us today. And whilst we are waiting for our sister, it would be a wonderful thing for her to pass her greetings to us. And we want to say thank you that you have honored us to come to us. And this is your second day. We were with you yesterday as well.
Apologies, everyone.
Oh, are you back? Okay, there she is back again. All right.
Somebody keeps muting my mic. Apologies. I don't know what's happened, but my mic was mute. And I was trying to, because something happened with the connection. I've got to get back, because I'm nearly done with my presentation. I've got 5 minutes left. So please bear with me, everyone. I need to share my screen again. And we're still recording. I just wanted to make sure we're still recording. Apologies for that, everyone. I hope everybody's enjoying it, what I'm doing here. And I'm going to share my screen.
We're glad you're back.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I'm going to share my screen again so you can get the rest of it. We've got a couple more pages. So let's do this before we move forward to the next section. Yeah, so from current slide. So, oh, there we go. Right, so I was here, weren't I? Yeah, I was here before I got interrupted by some other forces, but we're here. I was saying that the registration for the SWIFIN is free, and all you got to do is click on the link right here for, it says www.lumi.africa, and you can access this website. If you look at my screen now, I've just clicked on it so you can have a quick look at our website, which I'm very proud of. It's taken a lot of hard work. Our sister Tammy Mason, the team, it's been very hard work. Tammy Marseille, sorry, let me, yeah. So this is the website. Once you click on the link, you'll be sent to this website here, Lumi Africa. Now there's various links here for other things, but I'm not going to go into all that right now. You can click right here where I've got it says register here for your Lumi. And then once you click on register here for your Lumi, it will take you to another page where it says registration for Lumi stimulus. You go down here, it says register for your SWIFIN wallet here. And the form pops up. It says, make sure that your photos of your ID passports are clearly visible and readable to ensure quick approval of your registration. Here we are. This is the form you fill in. And then when it gets to the relevant section, pictures of the front of your passport, you just upload them. Now, somebody today called, they were registering and they came up and said, oh, what's the name of broker agent? I just wanted to be clear on that, but I believe it's to do with the person that introduced you to it. The person that introduced you to it, and name of affiliate agent would be the person, I guess the person that recommended you, or Lumi Africa. That's basically the affiliate agent. But we're going to get some more clarity on that because this is a new form that's been uploaded, but I know that there was a few questions about that today. So I just wanted to show you that. But please.
Hi, Mariana, sorry to interrupt, but we can't actually see the pages that you're showing.
Oh, you can't see the page that I'm showing?
No, it's just the same screen as before.
Oh, okay, one moment. I thought you could see it. Right, this is, right, let me, because what I wanted to do was, let me just stop sharing for 1 second because I did want to share it with you so you could actually get a glimpse of the page before we move on. Hold on, here we go. Right, I'll start with this one and share it. Okay, share screen. Thank you for that. Right, I'll share this one. Right, can you see that screen now? Shara, can you see?
Yes, is it Lumi Africa? We are.
That's the one. Yeah, when
right.
I clicked on that link, that's where it took me, but you just couldn't see where it went. But this is the website where it will take you for your registration. You scroll down and it says here, register here for your Lumi. No, sorry, register here for your Lumi, right? This part right here. There's some other aspects and features on there that we can talk about sooner rather than later, but this is where you go, the important part, where you go to register for your SWIFIN wallet here. I know a few people have been asking questions about who do you put as a broker, but there's also a part here that it asks for referrer Swiffin ID. So if you know it, then you can put it in, and if you don't know it, you can leave it blank. But as long as you put in who referred you and the affiliate agent, we're going to get some clarity on that one. Just join our group, so you can find out more about that. Let me just go. Where can I go? Hold on, I'm going to have to get out of here. But there's a part in the first page. There's a part where it says. Join our Telegram group. I suggest that everybody, if you've got Telegram, obviously not everybody's got it, but if you've got Telegram, please join our Telegram group or any of our affiliate groups, whether they're on WhatsApp, wherever they are, because wherever they are, you'll find out information about this. But you can ask about filling out the form. I think it's good to get some guidance before you actually try and fill out the form, because I know somebody tried to today, but because I had to come to this meeting, I didn't have time to assist them. But some people are very eager and they want to sign themselves up, which is great. But if you don't know exactly what you're doing before you do it, if you make a mistake, sometimes your registration can get declined. So we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to stop sharing quickly now and go back to my presentation and share the screen with you there. One moment. So we can finish it up. Let me just go here and share the screen again. Right, here we go. Right, so we were at, let me just make sure, we were at this slide from this slide. Yeah, so we got that. And you can also register using your smartphone, your tablet, your computer, any of those, you can use it. And a lot of the questions that people also ask is how can, once they get the Lumi, they want to know how they can buy more Lumi. This is just quickly, and I'm going to go through this. We've got an initiative now that we've actually started. We haven't officially launched it yet, but it will be launched. And it's called the Lumi Exchange Money Pool, where you will have opportunities to invest and receive Lumi. We'll be putting together some fundraising initiatives for youth and community organizations. We already did one of our first ones. It was quite successful. We collected all the fiat currency, people that have got fiat that want to get Lumi Exchange. We collected all the fiat, and we got all the names of the people with Swiffin accounts. We then got the recipient, the would-be recipient, because he doesn't, or whoever it is, doesn't get any of the money until all of the people who have gifted fiat get that, you know, in exchange, they get the equivalent in Lumi straight into their accounts. So everyone on that initiative, Laptops for Lumi, they got all the Lumi paid into their account. And once everybody's got their Lumis paid into their account, equivalent to what they put in fiat, then we sent the funds to the recipient who was able to buy their laptop. So we're really happy that that actually works. And for now, we've decided to roll it out on a wider scale to allow any of our members, you know, because you have to be a member as well of Lumi Africa to be able to take part in this program. But once you become a member, you can access this program and you can get your more Lumis. And so as it says on here, only Swiffin account holders and silver, gold and platinum members of Lumi Africa will be able to access this program. So yeah, you can email lumiexchange@lumi.africa. When we roll out the program, not right now, but once we roll out the program, you will be able to email us with your Swiffin account details and receive a link to gift in exchange for the Lumi, or you may even be able to access it on our website by then. But I just wanted to let you know about that opportunity. And with that, I just want to say thank you to everyone for listening. We're going to move on to, I'll hand you back over to Uncle Vanto, actually. He's going to come back and let you know what's next on the agenda. But thank you everyone for listening. Actually, no, your Q&A. Just to quickly ask any questions, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Anybody who's got questions, put your hands up and we will unmute you if you've got any questions about anything I presented right now.
Thank you, Mariama. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll just see if the people have questions. I don't know if they do, but
let's see how much time we have.
Yeah,
we have gone into with 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, does everyone seem to understand? Because there's no hands up, so it looks like.
I'd like to ask a question, but I don't know how to put my hand up. So is it okay if I interject?
Who are we speaking to right now? Shara, is it Shara?
It's Shara. Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello. I'd like to know how much it is to become a member.
You don't have to pay. That's what I was saying earlier on. It's actually free. You don't have to pay to become a member. It's free. You just go on our website, click on Lumi Africa, and you go down and you fill out the details. If you want, obviously, I think it's, as I said before, I think it'd be best if you join our Telegram group first, and there's a link to the Telegram group on the website. Join that first, come in. You know, we can speak to any of us on there, you know, just find out what you need to know. There's a couple of things that probably need to be clarified about the forms, because I've had a few people come back to me and ask me this question and that. So come into our group, and then, you know, once you get there, then we can direct you as to exactly what to do. It tells you on the website, you can go and have a look what you need to prepare, like your ID, front and back of your ID, whether if it's your driving license, the front and the back, and one by your face as well. You need that.
Yeah, I get that, because I'm in the group already, so I get that part. But, you know, you said you have to get extra help or to join. You mentioned something. I think it was a Lumi Exchange. You have to become a member to do that.
Yes, you do.
Silver, gold, or platinum. How much is that?
It's on the website. Everything's on the website. Yes, you can go on the website and it says become a member. When you click on there, it gives you the 3 packages. And it tells you what's included in all the packages. So you need to read through them. And once you've read through them, then you can register for whichever one you've done. So are you already registered for the Lumi now? You're already registered?
No, not yet. I'm finding out a little bit more about it. I intend to, though, but I just
you have to register first. You can't become a member until you're registered.
Okay, no problem. Okay, thank you for the presentation.
You are most welcome, Shara. Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Yep, we have 3 hands up, but I just wanted to say beforehand, from 59CM, I think it's Cheryl Chong. They said, thank you, slight adjustment, please. Lumi was issued by the Central Bank of Akpong in Jamaica, not by the Central Bank of Jamaica.
Yes.
I didn't invite them if they wanted to just elaborate on that.
That's perfectly fine. Yes, it was that. It's just a slight oversight. It is the Central Bank of Hong Kong.
Perfect.
In Jamaica.
And then we have hands up from Freeman, then Boniswa, and then Sizwe. Sorry, so you have 3 questions next.
All right.
So Freeman, you're good to go.
Thank you. I really appreciate this meeting. It's the first time I am coming on this Zoom meeting, and I have really been informed so far. My only question for now could be, it was what someone asked me when I tried to share the Lumi with someone, and the person asked me, is the currency in use? Can one buy and sell with a currency?
Excuse me, sorry, can you just repeat that last part, what you just said?
I was asked if it's possible to trade, to buy and sell with a currency. Can I make an order? Can I shop with
yes, you can. There are
Lumi?
Yes, you can. There's a Lumi marketplace online where you can do that. There's also other websites that you can, you know, they're preparing right now. I know they've been getting them ready, depending on where you are. Because where are you based right now? My brother, where are you based?
I'm in Lagos, Nigeria.
Right, so you're in Nigeria. Right. Yeah. So I mean, it depends. If there's people on the platform in Nigeria that are selling goods or trading goods that, you know, you may want or you may want to sell to them, you have to actually go on there and look. But that's another process on the Swift platform. But you know, that's another session that we'll be doing to assist people and showing them how they can actually go on and look. But you have to keep coming to our summits to find out more about that. But we will be doing.
What about Kampala, Uganda?
Anywhere in the world, if anyone's got their goods and services that they want to put online, they can put them online and you can access them if you know about them. You know what I mean? And we'll also, Lumi Africa will also be creating marketplaces of our own within our own little ecosystems of the different members that we have, the businesses that we have. signed up to Lumi Africa. So you'll find out more about that as well as we go. Once you sign up, you'll have access, again, as a member, you'll have access to many of those opportunities to trade, to invest, find out where you can buy and sell. We're going to have our own little malls online. So, you know, once you look at our website, you'll see a lot of the possibilities that are out there and the things that we're working on right now to make available to you as members. So please keep watching this space. And if you haven't signed up, you know what to do. I showed you the website. And sometimes it's good to put out, like, again, we have what you call our own social network, Lumicity. It's actually called Lumicity. It's on the website. It's like Facebook, but we have them. We have places where you can either set up your own rooms or go and join other people's rooms. So you can also do your own networking on there as well. If there's other people on there with Lumi and they want to sell something or buy something, you can find out, you know, what they've got. It's all about networking. You can do that as well. So there's many different ways that we can access people that we want to buy from or sell to. But we'll be doing more training and workshops and that kind of thing as well with our partners as well, because we have some partners as well that will be presenting on our future trainings here, summits here. We'll be featuring different guests every other week. So yeah, it's going to be great. So I hope that answers your question, Freeman.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for coming. All right, thank you. And next,
I'm going to pass it over to Vanto because he is our host. Vanto, are you okay to allocate the next people with their hands up?
All right.
Thank you.
Let's just see. Sorry, I've not been looking at the hands up. Do we have any hands? Boniswa, we have Boniswa Mukoki. Can you unmute yourself?
Good evening, and thank you for the meeting. I've got two questions. The first one is, sorry about that. I am based in South Africa, Johannesburg. And what I'd love to know is that when we have these Lumis, how do we then spend them, or where do we exchange them? And then the second question is, are there any workshops that we could attend in order for us to get more information on how Lumi works? Thank you.
okay, thank you for your questions, Boniswa. And in answer to the first one, as I just explained to the Freeman who just asked the question, there will be opportunities and environments where you can spend your Lumi. It's all being created as we speak. There's many different places, and Lumi Africa will be facilitating a lot of presenting a lot of those opportunities as well to you via Lumi Africa. You learn a lot more about it. We will be putting on trainings for people that become members or register for the Swiffin on the Swiffin platform, whether they're communities, organizations, or even as agents. But what we want to do is, before you go out there and you sign people up, we want you to get the training and know exactly what's happening, what it's about, what the possibilities are, so you're able to, the very same questions that you're asking me here, that you will be able to answer those very same questions. But you have to get the knowledge of what it is that you're representing and the way in which you're representing it, and what all the possibilities are. And the only way you can get that is by actually experiencing it yourself firsthand. So please stay in touch with us. Stay in our Lumi Africa UK Diaspora Telegram group. We'll be sharing a lot more information as the days and the weeks go by. We'll be facilitating our trainings. As soon as these are up and running, we will be putting notices out, press releases out to let everybody know what's really happening. So please stay with us, Boniswa. Is that answered your questions? Or is it...
Yes. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. We've got Caesar's Galaxy. You've your hand lifted up. Can you unmute yourself, please?
My name is Caesar. Good evening, guys.
Good evening, Caesar.
Most of my questions have been answered in terms of the investment that you will see, the minimum amount that you need to invest from Luna. I've heard about it with my friends, but I confuse it with one of the investing companies. What do you call it? Luna, yeah. Lumi and Luna. I thought one of the same thing. But most of the questions have been answered in terms of the minimum amount that you need to invest. I think one of the things that I would like to comment on is that to be vigilant in terms of, because most of the people have abused Bitcoin and so forth, and people have, monies have been lost, people have lost cars and lost houses because they put more money on these investments. And then I think this one looks legit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I know most of South Africans, even mine, I lost some money around one of the fake investments. And then I think we need to be vigilant, not to let this one to fail.
Well, Sizwe, can I just interject? I'm quite mindful of the time as well, because
okay, I'm done.
I got slightly, but I just want to alleviate your fears by just one thing. The system that we use here at Lumi Africa is very stringent, and there will be a lot of different policies put in place, protocol, and the avenues where the finances will be exchanged will be, obviously it's been heavily vetted. It's all going to be extremely transparent. For example, I mean, some people could just say, okay, here it is. I've posted my email address. If people want to invest in purchasing Lumi separate from the stimulus package, please contact me at Grassrocks, whatever. You know, that's great. But where's your website? Where's the transparency? You know, if we're going to go around and, you know, offer these things, you have to have some kind of transparency put in place and some kind of reputation that people can say, okay, yeah, where can I look to see that? Because a lot of people will be approaching you. A lot of people will come into groups. I mean, I've heard this week alone of people being transported into groups to do with crypto and all these different currencies, like what you just said, Sizwe. So I totally get where you're coming from. And unless they are reputable, the people that are approaching you, I wouldn't suggest it. You have to do your due diligence. And as I say, Lumi Africa is a responsible, transparent business and organization right here. You can find out about anything to do with it. You can ask for any information that you'd like. Everything is transparent. And the beautiful thing is, it's all going to be operated from within the Swift platform as well. So we're not going to be taking anywhere outside of the legitimate places where the Lumi is housed. There'll be no private backdoor, anything. So I just wanted to make that clear. But thank you so much for your question, Sizwe. Does that answer your question?
Thank you, Empress Ma. I believe that our next speaker will be answering most of these questions.
Great, wonderful.
Because they pertain to how to make the Lumi work for you. That is where they will begin to understand what is Lumi, you know, the nature and all that, and how it can work for them. And I'm very happy right now to introduce to us our Empress from the South, our sister, Tammy Marcel. She is going to talk to us on the topic that says making the Lumi work for you. Sister Tammy, are you ready? Making the Lumi work for you. That is our topic that she's going to be addressing us.
Thank you. Let me take this time to say welcome and greetings to everybody that is here today. And we appreciate that you took the time to be here and joining us this evening. Well, my job is very easy today. It's making our Lumi work for us. And one of my jobs is actually to find new ways to industrialize Africa and to partake from the fourth industrial revolution. We can't run away from the fact that we are deep in the middle or at the center of fourth industrial revolution, which is the digital revolution. And Lumi is actually a witness to that. And right now, we haven't really achieved anything. Why? Because we're working in silos. And there is nothing we will be able to achieve as long as we work separate from one another. We need to move away from that silo mindset into the inclusion mindset. Right now, we are more in the captivity stage or level, and we need to move away from that level. Have you ever thought of how our history of captivity brings the worst in us? Have you ever thought of how that worst can turn out to be the best for us? Today, when we talk of the 400 years of captivity, our hearts brew up, they boil, not against the instigator of the colonial state, but amongst ourselves. When we do that, we are no different from the abusers who actually shy away from the perpetrator and run after innocent victims as their targets. And we need to stop that. We need to stop afflicting that kind of abuse amongst our own brothers and sisters, because that is the greatest impediment to our economic growth, to our social growth, and to our cultural growth. And for us to be able to grow and move away from that, we need to start from that point. And for us to be able to use the resource that we have, which is our Lumi, we cannot move until we move away from those shackles. The tendency of not supporting one another in Africa is becoming a detriment to the economy of our continental Africa. And in the EDA report of 2019, which is the Economic Development in Africa, it clearly states there that only 16.6% of the intra-African exports were accounted for. What does that mean for Africa? It means that over 84%, or between 80 to 90% of our goods leave our continent into the rest of the world. And we are only left with 16.6% that we move amongst ourselves. How do we grow like that? Because when you look into that, it actually amounts to over 760 billion US dollars worth of goods that leave our continent. Now we have the Lumi in our hands. Before we can even start asking how do we use it, because right now we are faced with so many questions of people who have this Lumi in their hands. And the first question they ask, where do I buy with it? That's a wrong way to start. The first question should be, where do I invest it? The second question most people ask is, where do I convert it? The reason why we are having these kind of summits is we want to educate ourselves about the evolution of money. We need to understand how money works, because when we get to understand that, then that will be the day we stop asking those kind of questions. Well, first, centuries ago, we had commodity money. Commodity money was exchange of goods. There was no monetary or financial instrument that was used. It was goods for goods. And it worked perfectly fine. Money evolved from there. We went to metal money, where money was coined using the minerals. And it evolved from there. We went to paper money that was backed by minerals. Unfortunately, that ended in 1971, where we now had fiat, which is a useless piece of paper that is backed by nothing of intrinsic value. Now, I need to ask you this question. If you are given something that is backed by a sustainable resource, which is our sun, and packed with our gold, which is our mineral resources, and you want to take that and exchange it for a pieceless paper that has no value at all, does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. So now if we're saying we want to exchange our money, which means we still do not value what we have. And for us to value what we have, we need to use it to empower ourselves, to build ourselves, to build our families, our communities, our nations, our continent. So my job here today is to make sure that we help one another in terms of how we use or how we make proper use of our Lumis. Yes, we're only 6 to 7 months old, but hey, we've done a great job. Lumi is now available or is circulating in over 154 countries. There is no other currency that has done that in 6 months. We have China that introduced their own digital yuan. It's still in one country. They're still trying to actually infiltrate it in other countries. But we are in over 154 countries in 6 months. But that is not enough at all. Why? Because there's $6 trillion worth of the Lumis that still needs to be distributed. And when we say we are 6 months, this stimulus, it has to be distributed until October 2023. And currently, I may be wrong, but I think we have distributed it to over like 200 or 300,000 people. I stand to be corrected there. We have 1.7 billion people that needs to have this Lumi in their hands. Now, if we have 1.7 billion people, what does that mean? It means there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. So we cannot be wasting our time asking where we use our money. The only thing we should be asking ourselves is, how do we assist in distributing this stimulus? How do we get this stimulus into the hands of people? We have 1.3 billion people in Africa as a population. And we now have our Africans in the diaspora, which are over 350 million. That makes us 1.7 billion, which is a plus for us with the Lumi that we have, because now we have the power of the numbers in our hands, which we should actually make use of, because the numbers we have is the more value and more power it will give to our Lumi, because it will be able to be saturated and circulate within ourselves. Now, why can't our African countries, African brothers and sisters work together? Because we are divided by borders, we are divided by languages, we are divided by infrastructure that is a lack of infrastructure. We might want to do trade among one another, but we have road infrastructure, we have transport services that are failing us, that are not working to our advantage. That does not rest in the hands of our governments now. It rests in our hands because we've got our Lumi. We can afford to have big mouths now because we have something that we call our own, something that is here to build us, to empower us. And that is the reason why we need to work together as an inclusive team or unity. Or we need to work together, not in silos. We need to break those barriers. It took the European Union over 50 years to master the game of trading amongst themselves. So it's not going to be an overnight, we understand, but at least we have a resource that helps us to move forward. We are not sitting and folding our hands, asking ourselves, but where do we start? Man, we've got to start. We've been given a start, our Lumi. And now it is time to sit around the table and ask ourselves, how do we make this Lumi to be our enabler in the industrialization of our continent. And for us to be able to rise above the up to the party of China, of Europe, of America, we need to stop believing that the source from outside would always bring a better value than than from the source within. The source within ourselves should give a better value. The European Unions, they managed to break a barrier that we are trying to break today, that of multi-currencies. Now, the minute they started using one currency, that's when they started growing. That's when they started building their own economies. As a result, they managed to retain 70% of their products within their own countries, and they only export 30%. China is the same. China manages to retain 60% of its products, and they only export 40%. Asia, the Asian countries. What about us in Africa? Africa can only retain 16.6%. 84% leaves the country. That needs to be attended to. And the only thing that will mend all of that and will break those barriers is our Lumi. Because our Lumi speaks one language. Our Lumi speaks one border. And our Lumi speaks one currency. We can do it if we work together and let our Lumi be our enabler. One country, one language, one border. One expert says that in this new arrangement of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, it is envisaged to create over 30 million jobs, or to move 30 million people out of the poverty line. Now, here is the question. If this free trade area can move 30 million people away from poverty, wouldn't we want those 30 million to be our small businesses? Why? Because small businesses, they create 80% of employment in our continent. Imagine if those 30 million people that will be empowered by this AfTA arrangement can be small businesses. Now, which means our Lumi will have empowered 30 million businesses. And if each business would empower 10 people each, now we're talking 300 million people empowered by our Lumi. And if those empowered by our business people, which is our communities, they also in turn empower five people each, we have 1.5 billion people empowered. Sweet. Don't we want that? But it's not just going to come out of the blue. It will need us to work as a unity. It will need us to work as one, to stop working in silos. Because now working in silos goes with the ego, and it goes with that captivity mindset, which we need to take ourselves out of. Now, I will say this. I always say this, and I will say it again until the Lumi mandate is clear in our minds. Capital, or a capital resource, is concentrated in 5 major industries: banking, retail, insurance, pharmaceuticals, and manufacturing. Well, when I summarize that, I call it RIMP. Now, these 5 industries are major industries. First, let's just look into banking. Most of our central banks in Africa, the majority of shareholders in our central banks are non-Africans. What does it mean for me and you? It means that for these shareholders, should anything go wrong with Africa, they will pack their bags and they will leave. And when they leave with their money. They leave with their resources. They leave with everything. They leave with all these industries, because very few of our Black brothers and sisters are in these industries. When I'm talking about this industry, I'm not talking about being in the bank and being a bank manager. I'm talking about being a shareholder, being an owner of the bank. When I'm talking about insurances, I'm not talking about being an underwriter, being like going and signing up people or being an underwriter. I'm talking about ownership. Very few of us own those industries, and yet that's where money is concentrated. Because in retail, we all eat, we all buy food, cars, everything. So money is concentrated there. Now, what does that mean for us? It means that we need to start when we build or when we create these ecosystems. That's where we need to start. Banking, we are there. We've got our Lumi, right? We're safe there. Now we need to move over to retail. We need to start creating ecosystems, retail ecosystems. When I'm talking about ecosystems, I'm talking about us having full control of the entire value chain. Now, this will stop these questions of where do I spend where do I spend my Lumi? Now, the next question will be, how can I be part of building this ecosystem? There's so much work that needs to be done. Manufacturing, agriculture, all of that. There's so much that needs to be done. And right now, we are not sitting thinking where we're going to get the money. We've got it. Lumi has gifted us with the money, and we cannot take the gift and go and give it away, because now that would be very unappreciative if we do that. So the only way we can break these barriers is to build inclusive ecosystems that are foolproof value chains within our communities, within our small businesses, within our families. That's the only way that we can grow. Now, I would like to highlight, coming back to working in silos, I would like to highlight the fact that we already have big players, or all these pieces of the puzzles that we need to really start building and putting this puzzle together. We have the Eco6, which is a custodian of our Lumi currency, led by Chief Timothy McPherson. We have the African Kingdoms Federation, which is the heartbeat and the fuel of our Lumi, led by His Imperial Majesty, Empress Sheba III. We have the SOAD, which is the state of the African diaspora, which is the marriage certificate between Africa and her diaspora, led by His Honorable Prime Minister, George Tin. We have the SWIFT platform, which is the engine of our Lumi, led by Dr. Linus Itube. We have the National Family Program, which is the propeller of our Lumi, led by her Honorable Minister of Family and Social Economy, Dr. Cheryl Shong. We have our Lumipreneurs, we have our Lumi marketplaces, we have our Lumi courses, which is the educational resource for the Lumi, led by Mr. Theo Chambers. We have all these bits and pieces of a puzzle which are complete enough for us to sit around the table and start building this puzzle. Last but not least, we have Lumi Africa. Now, this is how I see Lumi Africa. I see Lumi Africa as a board. We've got all these pieces, right? But where do we build them on? There's no table or there's no board. So now Lumi Africa is that board where all these pieces of all these puzzles will come together, and we will put them in place, and we will glue them, put them in a frame, put them in a wall for generations now and generations yet to come, so that they can see what we have done with the gift that we were given of our own currency. And for us to appreciate all of that, we need to know the value of our Lumi. My sister, Empress Mariama, did mention that, the value. But now where I want to step on is, for us to really understand, we had money that was backed by gold then, before the fiat currency. And now gold, we know it gets depleted, as it is getting depleted right now. And that drops the value of the money. But right now, we have the best resource in the world that will always be there. So which means the value of our money is very sustainable, because the sun will always shine in Africa. The sun shines the brightest here, which is why Africa is very much positioned to be the center of harvesting the sun. As much as we harvest the sun, we will never lose value of our currency. And we must remember that over 40% or over 40 countries have already signed the agreement to lower the carbon emission. What does that mean? It means that each and every country is actually working towards green energy. And we are there with our Lumi, because the word Lumi is coming from the word luminous, which means the sun, because it is backed by the sun. So we are at a position where we will harvest the sun, transport the sun, export it. Now, what else do we want? Why do we want to give away such a treasure? We need to start appreciating what we have, and we need to start working around on how we can make it work for us. Now is not the time to claim fame on being the first and the best where Lumi is concerned. It is not the time to be sitting around the corners of our shekels and checking who is doing what and how and where and who is outsmarted by who. We don't have time for that. We only have time to build using our resource, which is our Lumi. We need to be sitting around the table, working on this puzzle, trying to figure out what piece fits where, all of us. Lumi has come not just to be an enabler for us, but it has come as a unifier and as an equalizer. And that is how we should see it. As Lumi Africa, we have come up with some solutions because, we can talk and talk and talk. But now it's time for action. We have 2.5 years left before the end of the stimulus or before the end of this gift. And we still have 1.7 billion people to go to and distribute. That means that if we give ourselves 8 months to sign people up, like 8 months, 8 months, 8 months, which means in each 8 months, we need to be signing up at least 553 million people. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of work. It needs you and me to work together. It needs us to sit around the table and strategize, come up with strategies that work, strategies that will move us forward. As Lumi Africa, we want to talk to that gap, because right now, most of the people are just talking about getting the Lumis, right? Fine, it's well and good, but now there should be also a group of people who are working on, now that we've got the Lumis, where do we start? We are creating those ecosystems currently. We are creating our retail ecosystems. We are creating our schools ecosystems. We are creating our youth programs. That's where we're at right now. And we are creating platforms that are purely and wholly owned by us as Africans. We need to slowly move away from being dependent. We need to move away from depending on outside sources. We need to start depending within our own sources, within our own selves, within our own people. We have the capacity, we have the ability, we have the agility. We have all of that. We have everything that is needed to start building these ecosystems. So right now, Lumi Africa is that board where we are saying we are building the platforms. Come step on them. Let's build on these platforms as a unity. We have started working on what is called Lumicity. Let me just share my screen. Just a second, I just want to share my screen right now. Okay. I think I'm being challenged here by technology. I would like you to see what we're working on. I hope my screen is visible enough.
Just about to share.
Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can see it. Yep.
Thank you. All right, so now this is, I would like to present to you Lumi Africa, the power behind our Lumi and also how to make our Lumi work for us. As you will see at the bottom, you will see here, we have Lumi Africa, which is the website. We have the Lumicity and we have the Lumi Schools. Those are the kind of platforms we are building. And those are the kinds of platforms we do not want to build in silos. These are the kinds of platforms we want to invite you to come and build it with us. Currently, we have, okay, we all know about who is behind the Lumi. These are the platforms that we are working on. We are working on the Lumicity, which is, I'm very excited to be talking about that one. Lumicity is our own Facebook network or Facebook social media. It has everything that Facebook has, but the best thing about it is we own it ourselves as Africans. We have built it, we own it. We're not dependent on outside sources. So we can do every little thing that Facebook does. We can create groups, we can create spaces. Just because of time, I would love to show how you do it maybe some other time, but you create spaces. And the best thing about our Lumicity is that the very same Zoom platform that we're in right now, it still has some barriers. We have many other sisters and brothers of ours who would have loved to be here, but who couldn't because they do not have the space to download our Zoom. Now with our Lumicity, you don't need to download anything. You open your own, you create your own account, you create your own space, your own room. And if there is a meeting, you just go and join the meeting room, which is exactly the same as this. You can record, you can have video conferencing, you can have everything that you do on Zoom. So that's how advanced it is. And we also on our plans of building a virtual city called Lumicity. And in this Lumicity, we will have virtual malls. We will have what my sister talked about, which is Lumi Exchange platform. We will have, the aim of our Lumicity is to gamify and digitize every little industry, you know, because when we say we in the digital revolution, we're not just saying it, but we need to show it and we need to be part of it. We don't want to follow this time. We want to lead as Africa. We've been following for all centuries, like all these years. Now it's time for us to take the lead, to take our place, our rightful place in leading. Because right now we want to lead this digital revolution into a convergence where humans and machines will converge. And that's exactly where we are taking this. And another platform that we have is Lumi Schools. With the Lumi Schools, we want to create centers of learning that are Afrocentric, we want to create curriculums that talk to us as Africa, as our African culture. We want to get all our schools into digital spaces, digital learning spaces. And we want to integrate our schools with communities so that they work as one. That is also one of our main agendas. And we have Lumi businesses where we are creating ecosystems like your retail ecosystems. And this, we are extending an invitation to everyone here who has the skill to say, okay, I have the skill, I can come and take part in this part. You know, we are looking for all of that because this Lumi has to work. We need to see where this Lumi is doing and where it is taking us. We also have our channels, like our YouTube channels. We have our website. And on the website, you will be able to see all our proceedings. The proceedings of these meetings will only be accessible by exclusive members. When you go to the website, you will see a page of exclusive membership. You take that and you will be able to access more benefits. This is our Lumicity social media. You log in or you register and you can go and open your own space here, like you would do in Facebook, opening a Facebook group. And here you can share whatever you want to share on your timeline, and you have other people conversing. So it's a safe space for collaborations and for planning and without interruptions or all of that. Now, this is the training room. Once you are there on the Lumicity, you just go to your spaces and then you will find the training room. You type Lumi training room, it'll take you straight to your training room there, and you can have other people joining you. You see, you can record here, you can mute, you can disable cameras, you can start live streaming. You know, there's just so much that you can do. And as Lumi Africa, we are driving financial independence using the power of our Lumi to back us. We are promoting financial inclusion. We are driving and empowering communities. We are building global solutions. We partner with investors. I want to emphasize that. We partner with investors and financial institutions because at the end of the day, we will not run away from the fact that it's still very few institutions that are accepting Lumi, which is why we are having the Lumi Exchange platform, where people can buy the Lumi Exchange for the fiat. And for now, we will just use a little bit of fiat where we can, but we want to avoid it as much as we can. If only we can create these ecosystems, then we would run away from that. What is our future? Our future is we want to be business development engineers who are fully committed towards inventing and creating lifestyles that are purely centered around our Lumi world. And as I said, that we would like to build this Lumi world with every one of us here. Well, we still have our upcoming events, which I wouldn't really want to talk about now, but I can just mention that there's maybe in our next summit, we will be talking about our OLA Awards, which is our Lumi Africa Awards, and who will be eligible for those kind of awards. There's our Lumicity and all the programs that we have, our weekly programs. Well, yeah, I can rightly say so that it is time to wake up and smell the coffee, because right now we are about to really work on very interesting things. And my journey ends right here. I would like to thank everyone, thanking you kindly for being here, for being with us, and for taking time to listen to this presentation. I am giving my chains over to my host.
Banta, are you there? You're on mute.
You're muted.
Have I just muted myself? I'm so sorry about that. Our sister here spoke, and I wouldn't even say like a South African ambassador, but she spoke like an African ambassador for all of us. And this is what we're talking about when we say we are giving ourselves into building Africa, bringing Africa together. And you can think about your own currency, whether it is the Naira. Did they come to you to say, we want you to spread the Naira? Did they come to you to say, we want you to spread the rand? Nobody came to you. Our central banks, they never came to us. But here is a central bank coming to us. They are saying to us, we trust you. Go and spread this and own it. Not only rally around the flag, but rally around the currency. And this is where we are. And we were going to have time for questions, as I understood, but I was also reliably told that we have been blessed to have our own Minister of Family, who is Dr. Cheryl Shaw, who is with us here. We tried yesterday in vain to ask her to address us, but it would be a wonderful time for her to address us. Then I would open up for questions after she has addressed us. Dr. Cheryl?
Okay, thank you very much. I just rushed outside to wind up my car because we're having a downpour. Wind up my car windows. So, first of all, I want to thank all the speakers who went ahead. I mean, the background and the information that has been shared is just amazing. I mean, there are very few. Bus drivers who are found. There are very few areas that have not been covered. And so I just want to now look at the whole Lumi distribution, etc., in the phases that they were conceived in. First of all, the Lumi is a gift to distribute our own African currency to all persons around the world of African descent. Anybody who acknowledges that they are of African descent is eligible to have the Lumi. It is a gift. It is not a salary. It is not a investment. It is just a gift so that we can distribute the Lumi and everybody can now have the same currency to trade. So one of the first things we need to understand is that in order to have trade, we have to first have distribution. Once we have distribution of the Lumi, then we now have to move on to understanding how to utilize it. Now, the major issues that have, what should I say, kept us in slavery are many, but I want to focus on probably the three most powerful ones. The first is the health system. The second is the monetary system. And the third is the media. What has happened, we looked at manufacturing and the whole productive thing, which was covered by our sister earlier on. But unless those three are addressed together, we will never have freedom. If we can take control of our health, our wealth, and our mindsets, we can control anything. Consequently, the Lumi program of distribution is to extend over 3 years. And running parallel with that distribution is the addressing of those three areas, the changing of the mindset, which is probably the first thing that needs to happen. The second thing is the resuscitation of our health, going back to our original traditional health practices that have always worked. And the third thing is the monetary system. It is not just the understanding or acquisition of our own money, but it is the understanding of how to retain wealth, how to build legacies, how to invest everything, all resources for the highest return on investment. And so along with the 3-year distribution, ECO6 and the State of the African Diaspora also planned a program of training for every person who is registered for the Lumi to address those areas. The first, and that is in the National and Community Transformation Program, and it is starting by families. The plans for Lumicities, for industries, and so on, will require a trained workforce who understand the purpose for the Lumi and the way we are going to use it to empower ourselves and to move ourselves out of a position of disadvantage, take back control of all our resources. That's the objective of the National and Community Transformation Program by families. So in phase 1, the first thing is getting as many people to register so they have the Lumi coming into their digital wallets every month. I registered in October of last year, and I have 3 accounts. One is my personal account, one is my business account, and this is what we are recommending for each person. Personal account, then a business account, then an agency, or personal account, agency, then business account, so that you will be getting that stimulus in each of those 3 accounts, the equivalent of the 100 per month. And along the way, there are several other initiatives and stimuli that will be able to be put into all 3 accounts as we move along. But in phase 1, there is a process. The National and Community Development Transformation Program is a 3-year program. In the first year, it empowers families to start their businesses and to get their wealth legacy foundation set. In the second year, the families concentrate on the community involvement and the growth in that area, because by the time you're finished getting your personal thing in place, the industries will be up, meaning infrastructures and whatever else needs to be done, and the production will be up, etc., etc. And then in the third year, we concentrate on national development. Once the communities have their small ecosystems going in place. Now, the program is really a national program for every country, because we want persons to get back to making their families strong first, then making their community strong, and then making their nation strong, then concentrating on strong nations trading with strong nations. So nobody's taking an advantage of anybody else, and sharing. Now, this is not to say that we can't start inter-country trading from day one, because we are already doing that here in Jamaica and in several countries where we are trading across borders, because we don't need to go through a bank in institution to give us a letter of credit or what else. We have the money to do it. We have the goods, because we have been empowering ourselves in terms of our home manufacturing. So once we have done we have gotten the first stimulus, then the first thing you spend out of your first stimulus is 3 Lumi to register for the National and Community Transformation Program by families. This will give you an immediate download of the 7 sessions of the course. And this is what the course is going to teach you. Session 1, natural family health, how to move your family health situation straight around in 1 month. It will address your baby's asthma, your grandmother's Alzheimer's, and everything in between, the cancers from the natural sources within your nation. The second month, we concentrate on therapeutic farms and gardens, where each person is given the opportunity to start seed gardens, each family, seed gardens and food forests within their communities. And that is setting the base for all our owning our agricultural produce, and then moving us on in the third month into value-added products, so that we are no longer growing our raw material for export. We are growing our raw material for manufacture, agri-products, home expansion, whatever. But you want to move, if you are a grower of anything, you must move your product at least 1 step up the value-added chain in order to be able to cover your expenses for growing. So we teach you how to carry everything to value-added products, and then you can now decide which ones do I want to specialize in. So it doesn't matter whether everything that comes from the ground, it doesn't matter whether it's minerals, whether it's trees, whether it's fruits, whether it's agriculture, whether it's animal husbandry, whatever you have coming out of the ground, you are taught how to take it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps up the chain. And each step you carry it up makes the return on your investment more and more. So that is number 3. And then number 4 is really a psychology session in how to change the mindsets from wanting foreign goods to preferring our local goods, because it is the mindset that makes us feel, without our understanding, that the foreign goods are better. The foreign goods are never better, because it's our raw material that have been stolen from us, poisoned, and sent back to us. So we need to understand that not only is the food poisoned and sent back to us, but we need to understand that the fabrics, the materials, or everything that is manufactured outside of our environments, wherever we are, whether in the Caribbean or in Africa, everything manufactured outside our environment comes back to us poisoned. So right now, there are transmitters in women's brasiers. There are poisons put in the fabrics that are manufactured outside of the original raw material providers that are all poisoned and sent back to us. So when we put on those synthetic fabrics and synthetic accessories that we hold close to us, that we breathe in, not only is it damaging our health, but it is changing our DNA. And when we wear and consume items made by our previous slave masters, we become addicted. Our DNA changes. A lot of people don't understand that. And so this is what this course is going to teach you. How you are harming yourself. Not only are we harming ourselves, but we are, every time you buy an imported product, you are enriching the economy of that country, and you are depleting at the same time the economy of your family, your community, and your nation. So that is a pivotal class. It is class 4 called import substitution. Class 5 goes into the financial freedom, financial intelligence. How do you use the Hebraic methodologies to keep your family always on the top of the economic scale? Those are principles. They are biblical principles which work all the time. And that session also brings us back to the fact that we are the original Jews. And we have moved away from the principles laid down by Almighty God, regardless of what religion you are, for continuous wealth generation and for accessing what we call the commonwealth of heaven. Because when we use these principles, we engage the supernatural intervention into our wealth generation. Then we move on to looking at our purpose, our passion, and the plans that we were created for. All of those dreams and visions that you had in your heart from a child coming up. I want to build this, I want to do this, I want to be this. How do you connect with that and actualize right here and now? Because those things were created in you for a purpose. And we need to show you how to pull them out. And everybody is a masterpiece, not some people. How do you find that masterpiece and fulfill your potential? The final class, class 7, month 7, is the one that will say, we need to make a contribution and fulfill the national destiny, because every country has a national destiny. It has something or many things that they need to be the leader in the world in. And you need to have all your country's resource, building all your people and not others. We can take back every resource if we understand the process of this course and just go through it from one to the next, to the next. By the time you get to class 7 in month 7, you understand how to take back all the resources of your nation. And that is the objective of this program, because with the Lumi, we have to get control and be in the productive capacity of all our resources before we can start taking back control. So that's the process of getting there. And so that's what I have to say for today, because it's been a long, long, long thing. And I know that I will be able to answer any questions that you have. And also several persons who are in your leadership have already gone through the program and can assist you in it. So that's phase 1. So there's lots more to come in phase 2, where you can access credit lines, etc., etc. So thank you very much. And I hope I haven't given you information overload.
Thank you so much, our dear minister. We are learning from SOAD. Our ministers are reachable, and our kingdoms, they are also reachable. And thank you for reaching out to us. And we are going to spread the message of the NetFem for people to register for the total wealth, which is both the health, the wealth, and the money, which is the Lumi. We appreciate so much. Do we have some questions whilst we have our minister here? Any questions that we have on the training?
I think our minister did a great job there, Vanto. There's no question, she did a wonderful job. Thank you, Dr. Cheryl Shong. That was a beautiful presentation. And we still have another person that hasn't presented yet. It's just a short part, just a small part, but he's our technical team that we just wanted to just make sure that everyone here, because a lot of people have put questions in about the technical side of things. We just wanted him to quickly just introduce himself and let them know that he is in the Telegram group. Dec, can you unmute? Because I know you have to go soon. Is it possible that you can unmute for a moment? And if you're still here, because I know his battery was going. Is it still there? All right, well, maybe not then. He was waiting for a while, but anyway, yeah. Oh, he's there. Oh, there we go. There you go.
Yeah, greetings to everyone. You know, sorry for the dark background. It's already 8 p.m. over here, so I just have to rush and show you guys some stuff. My name is Dec, and I'm in the technical team, and I'm from Nigeria. Nice to meet everyone here. So I'm just going to show us how we can enable the SMS on our phones and on the SwiftN application. Can I see my screen right now?
Yes.
Like you see on your top left, you're gonna see the settings icon. You just click on it. You see the last option, you see, below the change password. You click on enable phone. Then you click on send verification code. You see, that's the verification code. Then you just click on copy. Paste it. And then click on confirm. Yeah, you see, it has been successfully verified. So just in case maybe we want to change our password or we're finding it difficult to get into our account on the SwiftN platform, then that's just the number that that's the number which you're gonna receive the code to get back to your account. Then maybe on the next Zoom meeting, I'll just show us how to change your email address right there on the SwiftN platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dec, for that. I hope that answered some of the questions that we've had in the group in the last week or two. Brother Vanto, I'm going to hand back to you. So if there's any more questions, you can deal with that. Thank you.
Do we have some questions as we have come to our time of closure? Do we have some questions?
I just wanted to add, there were a few in the chat. I don't know if anybody is still online and able to answer their questions vocally or ask their questions vocally. I know that we've been in the background busy trying to direct message and answer questions, but if anybody's questions haven't been answered, they can definitely voice theirs now, or they can put their hand up and we can go to them. I'm just trying to read my notes really quickly. There was a question in regards to, will the schools be offering language courses or classes? Can any of the speakers that spoke today answer that?
Yes, certainly the schools will be offering everything that's on the curriculum, as much as we will also be developing our own curriculum, but yes, the languages will be available.
Okay, so I hope that answers the question to whoever answered that. There was another one in regards to empowerment activities. I don't know if you saw that in the chat.
Yes, I did see it. Actually, it was asked by one of our curricular experts who will be doing the Lumi Schools together with Sister Tammy.
Okay.
It is a question that is challenging us, whether we have, let me just go through to the question. That is actually challenging us about the empowerment activities in our communities. Is Mem Sister still around? Could you unmute yourself, please, if you are still there?
And then we'll go to Pauline, who has her hand up next.
Okay, I think she has gone out. Okay, we are almost up for time. We were supposed to be closing at 9 o'clock, but we are so grateful that we had our minister coming to us to address us about the exact nature of the Lumi and also the government that is behind the Lumi. So did we have another hand that is up?
Yes.
That is Pauline Martin. Can you just unmute yourself?
Yeah, thank you very much for this platform. Very, very informative. Well done to each and every one of you. Absolutely fantastic. We needed that. And I love the fact that we've now got our own platform. Well done. The question that I wanted to ask was, do we have in the UK an admin that can sort out some of the issues in which I've encountered in regarding to pending accounts? Because I do appreciate that Dr. Linus has said to us to send it to the admin, but I know they're extremely, extremely busy. Do we have one within the UK that can look after anyone that we've registered that may have issues or extended pending accounts, please? I just wanted to know.
Good evening, Pauline. I hope you're well. That's a good question. And
yeah, I'm good, darling. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Just been extremely busy, as you can see, like a lot going on. But what it is, we're looking to have a meeting, another meeting with Dr. Linus regarding that situation, because people come to us, but as I'm sure you can appreciate, you have the similar kind of situations where we cannot access directly people's accounts that we've registered. We cannot go into their accounts to look at the reason why their accounts are pending, because remember, there's a reason why, and we're not privy to that. Once we've registered them and they've received their Swifin account details, even when we send messages, I've sent a lot of messages, and I'm sure people on our team sent a lot of messages to the Swifin help, the Swifin admin, Swifin support, and we don't always get the answers immediately. And we're not always sure if the situation's been rectified. So we need to address that. We're going to look at that even closer with Swifin. But for now, all I can suggest is that people actually do use the help desk link on the Swifin and send their messages through, because they have got a team. They're supposed to have a team that deals with that kind of thing. So that's all I can suggest right now.
Yeah, I appreciate that they have a team, and I also appreciate with the extension of how the Lumi is just going around the world, they're only just going to get busier and busier and busier, which I'm really glad about. Do you understand?
But
so,
Pauline, this is good. And you know what? I suggest that you contact me directly as well, because we can talk about that with regards to yourself. But we need to have a conversation, and I need to bring it to the team. But there are some things that we will be organising to implement with Dr. Lina. So because you are part of the UK team that signs people up. So yes, it'd be great. Just contact me and we'll discuss it. All right?
Yeah, because I just think it would be very good if we had a extension of Dr. Linus's team within the UK that we can assist. It would just help him out and the organisation and the Lumi and everything else.
Well, it's online. Everything's online, as we know. So, I mean,
yeah,
wherever we are in the world, it doesn't matter. If we can organise on the platform, Lumi Africa, that's what we're looking to do. Lumi Africa UK Diaspora, that's exactly what we're looking to do. So if you would like to be part of the people that assist with that, please contact me and then we can deal with that.
I would love to. I would love to. Any little part I can play in this big wonderful pie, I would do my endeavours.
Please contact me.
Thank you.
We'll discuss it. All right.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
Dr. Cheryl has got an answer. It looks like Dr. Cheryl has got an answer for you there.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Regarding that question, one of the things is that the shipping platform, the security is extremely tight. It's like when you are investing in gold, right? So you'll notice that with a regular bank account, you don't need to do so much security. Only when you're investing in really top class securities that you have to put the ID by your face, right? That is just an indication of how secure the platform is. Now, the help desk has a team working with them, and I am suggesting as Minister of Family that persons from each country request to be on the training from the help desk, because they have ongoing training, and you can send in some of either your ambassadors or some of your persons to be trained on the same training that Dr. Linus has, so that the persons who are currently on the help desk are actually around the whole world, right? And so you can send in persons who you have vetted to be trained to assist on the help desk from each country.
Sounds good.
So that, right, so that once you're trained, then it means that usually the help desk, about a month ago, they were answering all questions in 24 hours, right? But in the last month, the increase in persons trying to register for themselves and making a lot of mistakes has just spiraled, because people have just heard about the Lumi, jumped on, tried to register, and as a result, they have not gone through the proper procedures. And so we have more and more and more and more people in the pending and in the refusal bin, and we can't get to them. So what would help is for those who are ministers, or not just ministers, we need to have a channel, a structured channel going through our members of parliament, right? So what we need to do is for the members of parliament to recommend persons to Dr. Linus to be included in the training for the help desk. And if we can have one person from each country, do you see how it would assist not just the persons in that country, but right around the world? So I think that is where we could just concentrate now.
So basically, let me try and understand exactly what you're stating here. For me personally, what I would call myself a lay person, I would then go through to someone like our sister Marianne, or Sister Tammy.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It is. They have a training meeting every week for persons on the help desk. So at the last time, I think they probably had 60 people, but they now need 160 people because of the amount of stuff coming in. So it is Dr. Linus who you need to send your recommendations. So we have ex-persons who would like to be trained to work on the help desk, but of course they have to be recommended, because it's like working in the bank.
Yes, delicate. It's delicate information, delicate data, of course.
Right. So they have to be recommended and they have to be passed, and then they just go on a training, because we have a training program every week. You understand? We have a Zoom meeting where we have a training program. And persons, I think that, I don't know if Tam Mace came in on one of them that I had invited. I don't know if she came in on one of them, but I had invited a few people to come in on one of those training sessions. And that is where they told you what to do if you need to change the email, what to do if you need to change this, what you can do.
I came in on one of the sessions.
Right.
That's when I realized that the people that we're signing up, that we can recommend, like once we know that they're willing and that they're capable, that we can then
and they have time.
And exactly, and they have the time. You see the willingness. So that's this from our side, what we were looking at. Exactly what you're saying. Exactly true. But because we have access to the people directly because of what we're doing, we just thought it would be a good idea just to sort of like ask them, you know, if you're interested, because some people do come to us asking certain questions or wanting to assist, and we say, okay, well, if you want to assist, why don't you go here? Well, obviously Pauline's already done that, haven't you, Pauline? So you can go and deal with the training. You can go there and do that.
Yeah, I will speak with you afterwards on a one-to-one, Sister Mariana, and we can then take it from there. You can you can tell me exactly where I need to go.
You can go. Dr. Shong's just telling you exactly what to do.
Yeah,
you can do that, and I think you're ready for that. So I think you should just do that. And you know, if there's anybody else, once you're on the training, you can then come back and let us know. And then because I haven't been on the training and I haven't got the time, as you can appreciate, but if you go on it, it will help us immensely to identify the greatest candidates for that from the people that are coming through Lumi UK Africa.
Because I do have the available time, that I do have available time.
So training.
I might as well utilize it, like what Sister Shola said. Exactly. Utilize your time and use it wisely. So I might as well, you know, do something positive, because the organization, it's going to go crazy, and we just need to be building. I'd love to be part of that.
Well, thank you, and please do that. It's just that, you know, there's some other hands up and we have to close.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just go ahead and do exactly what Dr. Shong's saying. I think that's a great idea. And like I said, come back to us. Once you've done it, please come back. I really want you to give some feedback, and then you can assist my side as well. I can send people to you directly once you're trained. So it's just a win-win for everyone. So please do it.
Yeah, but I have to, because I'm registered on the African Kingdom Foundation. So I have to go from the training course from there, Dr. Shana?
Pardon me.
I said,
could you repeat your?
Sorry, I'm registered as on the African Kingdom Federation. Can I go on the training course from that website, or is there a specific website, or seminar?
No.
Or where do I need to go?
It's Dr. Linus. Who liaises with Dr. Linus from your group?
I have sent him a couple of emails, but he hasn't really responded, and I just taken it that he's just busy.
I will get back to you on this, because I'm going to speak to the trainer and ask them how we can get people into the group. So I will just get it, and I'll get back to you within 24 hours.
Lovely, thank you.
Right. Who am I speaking with? Who is this?
Speaking to Pauline Martin. I will send you my email to you personally on a direct, and then you will have my information.
Yes. Don't send the email, send a WhatsApp. Get it from Tammy Miss. Right. Send me a WhatsApp.
Okay, I'll do that. Right, I'll do that now. Okay, lovely. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Good. And then I will send all the information on how you can get some people in there. But I would like you to sort of because this group is not just from one country. There are people from several African countries. So we want enough persons going in from each country.
Correct.
Well, I can do mine from the UK, so I'll do my best.
Yes, and you do yours from the UK, it doesn't matter. They want people all around the world.
All right. Thank you so much, Minister. Thank you for your time. And we've got 30 seconds for each question. Karen, you next, and then Galaxy. Can you just unmute yourself there, Karen?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure, we can.
Okay, I'm just asking, how often do we have this meeting, and how accessible is the link? Say, for example, someone has an interest in joining or recommending this meeting. Can we sign up in a group or something so the link can be sent directly to us?
Yes, Karen, welcome. Yes, it is very accessible. Once you join the Telegram group, the link has been posted. I can see several times this evening in the chat. You can join our Telegram group, and we post the link every 2 weeks. It's a bi-weekly meeting, and you'll be able to access all our meetings from there. And just join in. And if you need to register, you can organize all that as well in the group. Well, a lot of that can be organized within the Telegram group. That answers your question.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Karen. All right.
Galaxy next. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Marcia. I'm very excited about the Lumi. I was following this since last year. In any case, I am in Ghana right now, and I just came across this link to this meeting, and I came in a little late. So is there any organization or any type of headquarters that you have right now in Ghana?
We don't have, you mean for Lumi Africa, for this organization here, Lumi Africa, UK Diaspora? Yeah. We don't have anyone particularly in Ghana right now, but we do have some groups that we're engaging with right now, some young people actually that we're looking to have as part of our affiliate team that will be working with Lumi Africa alongside Lumi Africa to get things done over in Ghana, but we don't have it as yet. But is it for registration that you want, or what is it exactly that you wanted?
Well, for registration, yes. Like I said, when I was looking into Lumi, it was very young, and now it looks like it has grown into something amazing. And so I don't have any information on any type of Lumi. Like I said, I just came across this. So I don't know, like I was hearing that you have loan programs coming out. So, yeah. And also registration, I'll need as much information as I can get if there's like a hub or a main site that I can go to find that.
Yes, I'm just going to ask, can our moderator, can you please post all the links to our website? And also we have a Telegram group that you can become a member of. The link, there it is, she's posted it in there now. You can click on the link for the Telegram group, and once you join there, it will give you a welcome and let you know exactly what the group's about. You can talk to any of our admin team in there regarding registration. You can actually go straight to our website and do your registration. You can set up all the documents. We have a bulk registration program actually running with the Swiffin platform right now. So everybody but again, the reason why you're in the group is so you can discuss it. If you need to discuss any points, things that you don't understand, how you can, what kind of account you want. Sometimes you might need one-to-one. Some people want a one-to-one registration where one of us will, get online and do it with you, share the screen, do it with you. There's so many different ways of doing it, but we have a lot of options available. But please join our Telegram group, and then you can get it from there. Okay, does that answer your question, Galaxy Note?
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, on that note, we would like to say thank you to everybody who attended today's meeting. And also we appreciate the presence of the minister in our meeting. I'm glad that she is here because people think that we are a company. They think that we are sent by a company to sell a kind of a currency. No, we are coming from a kingdom and a government. Just like you would come from the Queen in England together with the Prime Minister in England sending you to go and spread the pound. That is where we come from. That is where we come from. So we appreciate all your presence, and let us meet again to maybe go to www.lumi.africa for all the other announcements and events as well. And also go to www.lumi.africa/Lumicity. That is where we are all coming around the fireplace. That is our social media. So thank you very much. Good evening to everybody.
Thank you, Bancho.
Thank you.